Hello everybody, my name is Yoshi, and welcome to my vlog. Yeah, that's right, you heard it, I'm doing a vlog. This is it's not my first vlog. I've done a couple vlogs before, but I've decided to start doing a weekly vlog. And the reason for me doing this vlog is a little bit of an update to my channel and what I'm going to be doing going forward. So the first thing that I'm going to talk about is rebranding my channel. What I'm going to be doing is I'm losing the Yoshi. That's right, you heard it here. I am losing the Yoshi. And the reason for that is because I want to get rid of the Nintendo thing. Nintendo is a little PG-13 for me, and I'm not like that. I'm a little more R-rated, to be honest. Yoshi came from a long time ago. A lot of people know about it. A lot of people don't know about it, but it was just a nickname. I was called Joshi for a while, and then I was called Yoshi for a while, and then when I started doing gaming, I decided to go with Yoshi as well because I needed a nickname, and I thought that that would catch on, and it was okay. It was kind of cool for a while, but I'm going to go away from that. And going along with the rebranding is what I'm going to do is I'm going to go with a new banner as well. So, well, I just got like a Doom banner in the background right now because I was playing Doom. So every game I was going to do a new banner. So when I went to do the Evil Within, about halfway through, I realized I still had the Doom banner on. And then I went to go do a Evil Within banner, and it wasn't working. I was having problems. And I'm a little bit computer illiterate. So anyways, with that being said, I'm going to come with a new banner. And the new banner is going to represent me, which is what it's supposed to do in the first place, but this one will represent me, and it is going to say, it might say Josh Williamson Gaming or JW Gaming. I'm not too sure what it's going to say exactly. It's going to be white, it's going to be scary. I'm going to have like a figure in the background that's kind of creepy and stuff like that, and then it'll say JW Games, and then also it'll say JW Games, and then it'll say gaming, vlogs, and podcasts. And I thought that would be a good idea because why? Because I'm going to start doing vlogs and podcasts as well. So that's going to be a lot of fun. And when I'm going to start this new rebranding, I'm going to do the new rebranding for Outlast 2 because Outlast 2 comes out tomorrow. And so I'll start playing that game, and then I'll have the first video out by Wednesday probably. I could have a video out by tomorrow evening if I really wanted to do it, but I want to do it right and do it well, and so I want to have everything ready to go for when I do the Outlast 2. So also, just before I put those videos out there, I do have a couple more because I am finished the Evil Within. I just did the Evil Within finale part 1 is out now, and the Evil Within finale part 2 will be out tomorrow, and that one is a lot quicker. It's only 15 minutes long or something like that, but I didn't know where I was in the game. It's very difficult. Every time I think the game is over, it just kept on going. I really wasn't sure. Also, I have a couple demos coming out, and one of those demos is Lego Star Wars. I don't do demos very often. I haven't done demos in a long time, actually. So, yeah, one demo is going to be Lego Star Wars, The Force Awakens, and another one is a Vikings game. I'm not sure what the name is right now. It's some Vikings game, and that is on the PlayStation 4 as well. The demo is out, and I watched the trailer for it, and it looks fun. Looks like a fun game to play, so I'll be doing that. So Outlast 2 will be coming out on Wednesday, and that's going to be awesome. Wednesday or Thursday, who knows? It could be Thursday because I think the hardest part is actually going to be putting the banner. That's probably the easier part, but getting the banner made and in time and all that kind of stuff. So hopefully I can do that, as well as I'm going to have vlogs. With the vlogs, I'm going to do vlogs once a week, just to start. I might do them more, and it depends. What I've noticed though, when I do a vlog, or when I do a podcast, or when I've done a shout out, I've noticed that those are actually the videos that get the most views. My love is games, so it's hard for me to go just away from games. I like doing it. It's fun. I feel very comfortable playing a game and commentating while I am playing. It's easy for me to do that. A vlog, this is hard for me right now. It's a lot more difficult for me than playing a game. A game is right there. I'm playing it. I know what I'm doing. I just call what's going on as it's going on. But right now, I really just got to think about what's in my own head. And there's a lot in there to go through. It's just a bunch of junk just mixing around up inside my brain. That's why I have a whiteboard down there on the ground to tell me what to talk about next. So with that being said, with the vlog series that I'm going to be doing, I have a bunch of different topics that I like to talk about. There's stuff that I like to talk about in my everyday life. Stuff that I talk about with my kids. Like when I'm making dinner with my kids in the evenings, we actually do discuss a lot of these different things. One thing that we're doing right now is we're watching that new TV show. This is not on the whiteboard. This just popped into my head right now. But we're watching that TV show, 13 Reasons Why. My kids wanted to watch that movie, that TV show on Netflix, and I wasn't too sure if they should see it. I checked out what it was about, and I'm like, I don't know. But then my kids are pretty much teenagers, so in junior high anyways, so I decided to let them watch it. And there's some stuff that they're not allowed to watch, so they get to cover their eyes and stuff like that. But I do think that the TV show is very important for kids to watch, talking about bullying and suicide and all that kind of stuff. So, and then we have discussions about that at dinner time or after dinner or after the TV show or on the drives in the car. We discuss it and we talk about bullying. We talk about that stuff happening in their schools and where they're at with that and how they feel. So that's one topic that we like to talk about. There's other topics that we like to talk about as well. But then me and my girlfriend like to talk about religion. We like to talk about racism. We like to talk about different things. She's from the Philippines, so we talk about the Philippines a lot and stuff that's going on there. And it's absolute craziness there a lot of the times. Also, I like to talk about martial arts. I'm a huge martial arts enthusiast, but mostly just for MMA. At one time, I used to partake in MMA. You can see my headgear behind me here because I used to train 4 days a week, and I used to do jiu-jitsu. I used to do Muay Thai, boxing, wrestling, pretty much you name it. There was classes for each one individually at the school I went to, and then there was MMA classes as well. So you would do everything. So and at the end of every day, you could either practice boxing. You could spar. You could just say, it just depends on the guy, right? You say, you want to spar? Let's do boxing. You want to spar? You want to roll? We'll do jiu-jitsu, right? But just depending on what you want to do. Some people got the cage. I got the cage a lot. At the beginning, I never got the cage. I always had to travel. I had to practice on the mats because I was so new. And then after a while, I was good enough to spar with people. I was never good enough to fight. I'm not a fighter. I just really love the moves. I love the arts of martial arts. Right, I love the kicks, I love the punches, I love the jiu-jitsu, I love the transitions, all of that kind of stuff. If you are an enthusiast like I am, you would see how well all that stuff goes together and how beautiful it looks. Also, like I said before, I talked about a little bit of religion and stuff like that with my girlfriend. I talk about race and religion a lot with a lot of different people. A lot of my friends and stuff like that, we like to talk about that kind of stuff. We like to talk about race, the stuff that's going on in the United States. When it comes to Canada, it's there, but it's on a different level. Maybe it's the media. Our media is a lot different than American media is. I think that the American media stuff gets blown out of proportion. When I'm at the gym, they always have CNN on the TV that I usually end up doing my cardio on, and half the time they have the titles on what the story's about, and I burst out laughing every time. I'm like, how is this news? Who gives a shit? You know what I mean? So anyways, I want to talk about that, and I want to talk about that with a bunch of other people too. So I'm going to kind of incorporate this with my podcast, because obviously my podcast is going to have a lot to do with that as well. So once a week, I'm going to be talking about these types of issues, obviously political correctness as well, and I'm going to be talking about this in my vlogs. Those will be short. I'm not going to keep them too long, shorter than this video is now. And my podcasts are going to be longer. They're going to be 2 to 3 hours. And one of the biggest things that people criticized, actually, I only had one criticism about my first podcast. And I think people just don't know what to say about podcasts, or most people that I talk to don't watch podcasts, because I didn't care for my podcast that much. It was okay for a first time podcast, but it wasn't that great. And if you want to be honest, I had a couple drinks. I had some pizza. I was actually kind of tired when we started. It was a long day, and we wanted to do that podcast a few hours before, but so much stuff got in the way. And so I think we were both tired. And my friend Lee there, he's kind of shy to begin with. He talked a lot. He had a lot of interesting stories, but he doesn't really like being in front of the camera to begin with. So, anyways, I'm going to do those podcasts are going to be 2 to 3 hours long. And so, like I said, the biggest thing that I'm getting is that they're too long. So I can't just make a short podcast with somebody or multiple podcasts with somebody. So what I'm going to do is, because I have to do a beginning, then I got to do an end, and all that bullshit just sounds like too much for me. So what I'm going to do is one long 2 to 3 hour podcast. Then what I'm going to do is there's going to be segments, obviously, right? So every time there's a segment and that topic, I will make a new podcast for that. And so there'll be a whole bunch of sub-podcasts, I guess, so to speak. I don't know what I would really call them in the end, but that's what they're going to be. And then that way you don't have to watch the whole 2 to 3 hour podcast. You can, once I upload the new podcast, the sub-podcasts, they will have one that'll be on sex, one will be on religion, and one's going to be on race. And also what I want to do is I want to incorporate my podcast with people I know, friends, because my friends are interesting. I have a lot of interesting friends. Nobody seems like they want to be on a podcast, though. I had an interesting conversation last night, and this is not on the whiteboard either. My brother was in town, and so was his girlfriend, so Danton and Wendy, and we were discussing serial killers, and we were discussing vegetarian, and we started talking about a little bit about climate change and all these different things happening at the dinner table. And the whole time I was sitting there, I was thinking, this could have been a podcast. But I just like, whatever, we'll just talk freely. Because once you get a camera in front of somebody's face, you can't really, sometimes they don't talk about that stuff anymore. And then, where are their sources? Like, a lot of things are opinions, right? And these, what I talk about a lot are my own opinions. They're not based on anything. If I have facts, then I'll use those facts, and I'll talk about, like, if there was scientists that backed that up, or NASA, and or is NASA a conspiracy? I don't know. There's it's so you don't know. We'll be going down that hole, in the future. So we don't know what's going to be going on. The rabbit holes, craziness when we start getting into that kind of stuff. But so that's my brother and his girlfriend. We had interesting conversations last night. I also want to get local people from Calgary here in Alberta, Canada, and talk to them about, Calgary, Alberta, about Canada, about what we do here, but interesting type stuff. I don't want to talk about agriculture or anything like that. I don't want to get bored, have a boring podcast about that kind of stuff. I want to have something interesting about what we do, maybe about something more about hunting or fighting or what have you, right? Also, what I'm doing right now is I'm working on Twitter trying to get into the community of comedians. There's a lot of comedians here in Calgary, and we have a few different places where they do their shows. We got the Comedy Cave, and we had Yuck Yucks, but now it's called something else now, but I can't remember now. But so we have few places where stand-ups are doing their performances, and I want to have them. I'm talking to a couple comedians right now that have said that they're interested in doing a podcast with me, and they're like, a thing about a podcast is you can't always be talking to me. You can't always just be talking about something that's hurting society, hurting our culture, hurting our planet. If you're always talking about that, it's good to talk about those things, but it's a little negative, feeling sometimes. You want to talk about good stuff, like even about fighting and stuff like that. But comedians, they can add that flavor, where there's a little more happiness. Comedy, they make fun of things, they make fun of a lot of different things, and that's why I like watching stand-up comedy, is because they talk about issues. They really do. They to me, a stand-up comedian, like a show, a special, like a HBO special or whatever on Netflix, I always think of those as like a live podcast. Maybe not live podcast, but a podcast in front of a whole bunch of people, because he's talking his shit, about everything that he wants to talk about. Talking about relationships, they're talking about being a kid, they're talking about drugs and alcohol, they're talking about racism, they're talking about religion, and they're making fun of it. But, you learn a lot when you listen to them. Because if you listen to a comedian, they're talking about that kind of stuff, then you watch a podcast, listen to what they're talking about, and then you listen to CNN or ABC or any of those, what they're talking about, it really kind of blends together. Like sometimes comedians can be full of shit, and they're just being full of shit about things. But a lot of times they're just speaking the truth, and they're just making it funny. And so that's what I want to do. I want to have those kind of people on my podcast. So that's what I want to do. First, I'm going to start out rebranding. In the next couple of days, I'm going to rebrand, and I'm going to have my new channel. Well, same channel, but I'm just going to change the name of everything, and it's going to be probably JW Gaming is probably what I've been going with as well. I'm going to have a new banner. I'm going to play Outlast 2, and then will be my vlog for this week. There'll be a vlog next week. Hopefully this weekend I record a podcast, and then so by next week, it'll be a whole new Josh Williamson, and it's going to be awesome, and it's going to be a lot of fun, and I'm hoping that I can be as entertaining as possible, funny as possible. The games are going to be hilarious. I'm going to get jump scared. We're going to talk about some interesting shit, probably going to offend some people, but that's okay. I don't mind offending people. I'm just speaking from my heart. It's, if it's something that I truly believe, it's something I truly believe. If you don't agree with me, that's okay. You don't have to agree with me. That we've been put on this earth to disagree, and it's okay. I hope you do disagree with me, and I hope that we get to have discussions about that as well. So I'm gonna end the video right here. I'd like to thank everybody for watching this video. I need you guys to comment down in the comment section. Why? That's where I'm gonna see you. You guys are gonna see me in my next episode. Take care, everybody. Love y'all. Peace.